And
I don't know.
And
Is
there
this
was, like,
is this what
3,000
happens? Is this what happens every time when I go silent to get started? Because these conversations are freaking terrifying.
Oh
What's
yeah.
happening here?
When you're silent, and we're like, "Oh shit, he's listening." So yeah.
Well, with the new setup, I can now listen to you and not have it go to the stream. So I was
Duly
thinking
noted.
I could communicate as well, but I don't think mine was coming through. So, welcome everyone.
But yeah, that was totally terrifying.
The internet's a dark place, man. Dark place. Welcome everybody. Episode 101. If you missed last week, go watch it. If you weren't here for that show, Zormir, you said no.
Should I go? Wait, can we pause real quick so I can go watch it first?
He's very tired tonight, so we're gonna get shenanigans. So, yeah. So bear with us. We might have a few weird sounding things or technical difficulties, but we are moving forward. Laugh track. That's right, laugh track. You know, if I can't get these guys to laugh at my jokes, then I use a laugh track. But unsub, you suck. All right. Yeah. New camera position. I got new monitors, a little bit of everything. I still working on some stuff. Hey, we are fresh back from Midland Mall Comic Con.
Hey, when was that?
Last weekend. Quite an event. Shout out to all those that stopped by. It was a little rough morning, but it definitely picked up later in the evening. I gotta see. Okay. Hey, just want to send a shout out to all those people, Ben and Liz and Matt and Ryan and Justin and Cherry and Sarah and Tut and Angela, and who else we got? Matt, Jay, Anna, Cal, Lyra, Paxton, Sarah. There's so many names on here that sat in through. We had about 44 people that came through and played D&D. Some of them for the first time. Some of them were veterans. Some of them brought their own dice and minis and everything. And they, it's weird when you're setting up a session and they're like, and just set stuff off to the side. So that was cool. Yeah, bigger next year. It was packed. That's the most people I've seen in a mall since the 90s.
Did Tony show up with you guys?
Yeah, Banter and Babel were there. I'm representing.
I didn't see him in the picture. That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
Their own thing too.
Yeah, they were busy. We didn't get to really see them. I did an interview with them on Sunday. But fanboy. I'm rocking the Banter and Babel. You got to watch these guys this Wednesday. We've got a lot going on. Thanks to Paul from Fett's Toy Depot for putting that on, and for Ken's Comics for a lot of the artwork and promo material. Grace and I did some piggyback riding in the mall. That's what Fanboy Tone says. So no, Grayson had a good time. I was really sad in the beginning because everyone that walked up, we said, well, we've got two adventures here. We've got the Durst House and the Eye of Dalmecna. And they said, well, what does that mean? Well, the Durst House is kind of like a horror campaign, and the Eye of Dalmecna is more classic D&D. They're like, oh, we definitely want the horror campaign. Nobody wanted my stuff. They wanted his stuff. So we got Half-Ass came by. Tricky came by. I had a friend come up all the way from Indiana, and some there in Midland as well. So it was a good time. So one person that didn't come by and play D&D, but just showed up at the after party on Saturday was Pikachu. So yeah, thanks. I know. We saw that. But we did have like a little bit of an after thing at Oracle. We enjoyed Oracle Brewing down there in Saginaw, and yeah, Cherry was fantastic coming by. Zach Dynamite was in my group at my table as well. Dynamitis. So that was a good table. That was a good run, for sure. So, having said that, all that excitement is over with. To all the people that stopped by, we appreciate it. We will hopefully see you next year. To all those that are new to the community, came by the Discord, the Facebook page, all that stuff, welcome to the team. We love you, and we're happy you're along for the ride. And a special shout out to Andy Willis TV and all the folks that came over with him. He rated us last Wednesday when we were playing some Hunter Call of the Wild. He rated us with 62 people. So that was a little bit of a mental break. I just started and it just happened. So thanks all of you, Rexar Gaming, Bullseye, Wesley, those that stayed around and talked for quite some time. Real Ragnar, thanks for that. We appreciate all of you. Yeah, Cherry's already planning a trip for the new year. She's maybe helping us out next year. Who knows? But her group of friends were fantastic. So shout out to Cherry and the rest. So, all right. I think that's about everything I had. Mike, did you have anything that you wanted to say from the con?
It's all been said.
Yep.
I did enjoy
all right.
myself. Once we got the table set up and everything, for the most part, it was great.
Yep. Started her DM lessons. Great. So, welcome. If any of you in the audience is from the con, welcome to your first On the Edge of Darkness. I mean, this is what we do. So, we are going to get started here. Let's get Blaylock is having a dog issue, I guess. I'm guessing. Let's get some music going here. And then we'll get right into this from where we were. And you guys, if any of this is too loud, minus Zoramir, or you can't hear it at all, let me know. All right.
Sounds good on my end.
Where we left off last week, the party, or last week, 2 weeks ago, the party acquired the book finally after Grayson basically drugged the monk or the priest with enough alcohol to. It did. And went back and discussed their plans for moving forward. And Blaylock, experiencing his new horn, found out that the rune that he commissioned to have inscribed on the horn was actually a direct contact to Broman Karth, who made that quite known to him, and he left to see if he can get the horn removed. Arlo was not able to assist, so they went to the priest, and they didn't have the proper priest there to handle the situation. And as they left the place and went back to find Grayson and Galtier, who were picking up some items, there was a hand that appeared on Blaylock's shoulder, and he turned around to see his mother.
Mother, what are, why, how, what, where did you come from?
She looks at you right into the eye, and her hand reaches out and brushes over the top of your head. My boy. It's really you, isn't it?
It's been so long. I thought you were dead. I never saw you after the attack. I only heard word, rumor, and then you spoke. That was you, wasn't it? You spoke to me several months ago.
I thought I told you to leave.
We shouldn't talk about this here. We should go. I have a room. You should come with us. There is much.
Blaylock, not to be rude, but are you sure this is your mom?
There is one way to find out, and that is not in the streets, Arlo. Forgive me. Let us not have introductions here. We should move now.
I think you're right.
I'm
gonna
gonna grab my mother's hand, and then I'm going to just start walking towards the den.
Arlo and Zormir, you see Blaylock reach out and grabs this other Minotaur's hand, and you see her has a simple brown tunic on and just kind of cloaked in a long flowing black cloak. And the hood is pulled up over her head, but you can still see her eyes. You can see her light brown fur kind of streak back. It seems matted and dirty. You can see a streak of like white coming down between her eyes, and her hands are, the fingers are a bit longer than, say, Blaylock's, and she's just a bit taller. And Blaylock grabs her and just begins walking.
I guess we should follow Arlo?
I'm gonna say kind of a whisper tone. Just keep an eye on her. I don't know. I mean, a lot of crazy stuff's been going on here. You know that.
Yeah, we shouldn't get too far just in case something goes awry here. This is mighty suspicious timing.
Whatever we do, let's just make sure we take care of Blaylock. We'll follow him.
Mother, I'm walking. I'm gonna slow down to walk beside her.
Okay, so you kind of pull her a bit and kind of sets her off, and she stumbles a bit forward, and you can see her steps are heavy. A slight limp, but not from injury, more from exhaustion. And after you pull her forward a bit, she does her best to keep pace with you.
I see you are injured. Tell me something only I would know, and no one else. This is as quietly as I can.
Ruark would have loved to see you grow to what you've become, despite his differences.
I hope you are right. Those differences were a separation for us.
He never
is
meant it.
you.
And I mean to make that right one day. I would wish that we could just go back to the Mountains of Mist.
As do I. It was a simpler time.
It was.
It's not much farther.
All right. And she walks forward. Zormir, Arlo, what are you doing?
Just keeping pace with them. I am.
Okay.
Yeah, just staying in the background, but not letting them get too far away.
Just trying to listen to the conversation.
Okay.
While we're walking, and I've got hold of her hand. Brace yourself. This may be a little shocking. And I'm going to cast just Cure Wounds while holding her hand.
Okay. So as you hold her hand, one of your familiars that you haven't seen in a while, small, almost spider-like thing, kind of crawls down your arm and crawls over to her, and you see it push into her skin, and the wounds heal. She still is slow and tired, and troubles on, and she looks over at you, eyes wet with tears, and you always did have toys.
I did. They have grown greatly since last time we met. They are much more than mere toys, but they still serve quite the amusement. I still have a fondness for entertaining those younger, though not the young minotaurs back at the Two Rivers, but those that I encounter. The amusement that they see from such a creature really warms me, reminds me of the times back in the village.
And she kind of pulls her hood down a bit more, secures the cloak around her to stay warm. The breeze blows through, it flaps in the wind as she walks forward with you. And you can feel her squeeze your hand tightly. Are you returning back to the inn?
Yeah, we're gonna.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna return back. I was contemplating there because I actually have two rooms, but the old boot is further, right?
Yep. Would you like to go to the old boot, or
I'd like to. I honestly, I'd like to go to the old boot.
Okay.
I'm going to take her to the old boot.
Classy.
All right. While you are all moving that way, Grayson and Galtier, you retrieve, I believe it was Galtier's armor.
Correct.
From the shop and step outside.
Well, is there
Don't.
anything around here that you need?
No. But I don't like the idea of your sister roaming this fucking city by herself. I think we need to look for her.
We can do that. Trust me, I don't like her roaming the city any more than you do. I went to her old hideout. She wasn't there. Went to the old boot. He hasn't seen her in a while. And she probably knows this city better now than I do.
Well, I suggest we at least spend some time walking around.
you're trying to stay low here, where would you go to stay low at?
Probably the dock area.
Why don't we go investigate around that area again?
We'll take off that way.
All right.
And I'm actively trying to look for her as we're walking too.
Okay. While you do that, roll up a perception check. Just
Good old 7.
okay. You are looking for her the best you can.
You could have advantage because I'm looking too. So
Sure.
18.
Okay. So you look around and you don't see her. You see the regular crowds and things that are around. You enter into the dock. You can smell the smell of just water and fish, and hear the sounds of dock workers setting crates onto the docks. There's a rather large ship in port currently. It's
Does the
being
ship say anything on the side of it?
well. Let me look.
And what's the name of everybody on the ship?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, basically.
booty roster and cargo manifest.
You all have no idea how much that I do actually have done. The name of the ship is Little Problems.
Is
I'm
that
just
where?
gonna look at the ship and be like, I feel like that's a lie. It probably has more than that. Are we anywhere near the hideout? We probably passed it, didn't we?
It's down by the old boot.
Okay.
So that's
Okay. Yeah, never mind. I had the town map mixed up.
I freaking love this town. Look at that layout on there.
all right. What would you like
Well,
to do? Well, thank you
what
for
do you
that
think
raid,
they're
Miss
unloading?
Rose.
Well, we probably need to question the owner of the old boot again.
Yes. We can go visit Hugo again. By the way, if he offers you money for any reason, don't take it. And we'll start heading on down towards the old boot.
Okay. While you are at the dock, one thing you do notice is there is a small gnomish person, kind of a bald head and thick glasses that seems to be directing traffic. But all right, so you're heading down to the boot. All the way down. All right. While you walk down there, Blaylock, you walk in with everyone, and you see Hugo kind of perk up as he sees a large crowd walk in. Who goes out?
Hello, Master there. How are you?
Well, I just woke up from a nap and feeling quite well. Masterful job fixing the sign outside, by the way. Thank you again.
Of course, anything I can do to assist. What's the common room look like?
There's not a lot of folks there.
But there are folks there.
There are people there. Yeah. There's a larger Goliath man. He's tattered clothes, booed up on a table. He's kind of kicked back and looks about half sloshed. There's a tiefling or two and a dwarf. When you walk in, it's not a real welcoming place. They just kind of look around. They're just resting.
You, Zamora, I'm looking at the at Landfair. You there. We should go and talk privately. And Hugo's. Now, is there a private dining room that we may rent for a time?
Well, this area right out here, I can, take his food off the table, and you can have that table right there, of course.
Well, I was more looking for private accommodations, if possible.
What more private can you get than right there?
Is that what's he pointing to?
Just the open room.
Okay. I may take you up on that in a bit. Please. Could you have some food brought up to my room, please?
And about that time, Grayson, you and Galtier, you arrived down in that area. Were you going into the old boot, or were you headed elsewhere?
I was going to go look for any signs of life at the hideout, just to see if the entrance looks different from the last time I left. Disturbed.
Okay. What's both of your passive perceptions?
I am an 11.
What was that, Grayson?
20.
Okay. Grayson, as you're walking by, you do notice like the back of Arlo standing in the doorway. Galtier, you do not.
What?
But I sent them to the temple. It seems like they're off doing their own thing again. And I kind of point. I point Galtier towards the inn.
It's possible something happened when we were here. When I was here at Blaylock, he did buy a room for some reason. You want to go in and see what they're up to in there?
I think this is more important.
Okay. Well, we know where they are on the way back. We're not too far from where the old hideout is.
All right. You're continuing to the hideout?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you get to the entrance area, it doesn't look like it's been disturbed. It looks about the same as it did when you were here before.
Well, looks like she hasn't been here again. Looks basically the same as when I left it.
Unless she's making it look that way.
I mean, it's possible I can go in and look again. I'll,
we have two individuals that we don't know what they look like after us. Your sister, I'm pretty sure they know about your sister as well. We need to make
more
sure.
Likely. I'll start squeezing in through the opening.
Okay. You squeeze in. Grayson, are you following?
Yeah.
All right. You both work your way through the maze of jumps and ledges up into a small hideout that overlooks the river. Galtier, you kind of show Grayson the entrance inside.
Well, this is where we used to hide everything. I'm going to crawl in there and see if she's in there again.
Okay. You walk inside and she's not there. Grayson, do you follow?
Yeah, I want to survival to check to see if anybody had been staying there recently.
They have. You can see signs of life there, both of you.
Somebody's been here not too long ago.
I say, is that new signs from when I was here yesterday?
It is.
Okay. This didn't look like this yesterday when I was here. I wonder if she's coming in a different way to get up here.
Galtier, you see kind of a half-rolled scroll of some sort that is kind of pinned to the place she was sitting before.
I'll go up and unpin it and scroll it to read it.
When you roll it, it says, Galtier, I knew you would come back up here to find me. Sorry I'm not here. While your friends are great and they've done so much, I have to find my own way, and I have to find a way inside the palace. I think I've made a deal with someone who can get me there. I am safe. You really should leave this place. Signed, Melu, at the bottom.
Shit. Grayson? Apparently she thinks she found a way into the castle. Who she made a deal with, I have no idea. All she said, it was the same thing she said earlier, is to get away from here.
After our conversation last night, she knows that we can't do that.
She is fully aware of that. And
I told you coming here was just a bad idea.
It's Castle Romania. Is it ever a good idea to come here? But I don't like that she wouldn't just trust me long enough to get her into the castle without trying to sneak in. Are we still overlooking? Can we overlook the river from inside the hideout too?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I take a minute to survey where the docks were and around?
Yeah. You look out. It's a great view. You can see the docks. In the distance, past that, you can see the castle rising in the sky, a silhouette.
I wonder if something from that ship is going into the castle, and she's going to try to... That's how she's trying to get it in. We might need to go back there and try talking to somebody.
You turn around and you just see Grayson sitting on the floor with the flask in his hands. Just mumbling to himself.
It's been 5 minutes. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be very easy to find her again. But we should get a move on.
Well,
I don't know how long.
From what we know, there's only 2 ways to get an audience with the king. So I don't know who she spoke to. I found out it was blatantly told to me that the 2 individuals were both pieces of shit.
I can't help but have this sinking feeling that if we're working with the children, she's working with the other group and is trying to get in that way.
That's back in my pouch. Well, just more rain on our plans. I fear you're all gonna get me killed before we even get a chance to do anything.
Well, hopefully that's not the case. And I'll head on out. Well, I'll be behind him, so.
All right, so you guys are going to leave there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Blaylock, Arlo, and Zoramir. What are you doing from here?
We'd like to have a meal brought up to my room, please.
Of course, I've got some fresh gruel and just made up, and
Excellent. Thank you. And your discretion would be most appreciated. And I'll pull out 5 gold and set it on the table for him. Or the counter.
He takes it and kind of scoops it into somewhere, and yes, I don't believe I've ever seen you before.
Thank you.
Very good thinking.
I appreciate the effort. Zamora, Arlo, Zoramir, please come with me.
And you walk back into a room. To say the room is upstairs is a bit of a stretch. You go up a couple stairs where you're just barely above water level. You open into a small room. Boards are broken. There's some knots missing in the boards. They're letting the light through. The smell's not great. The bed, if that's what that is stacks of hay. It has a blanket thrown over the top of it. Nothing fancy at all. The pillows are more old sacks of flour that may have old rotted flour in it. But there's one window that overlooks the river.
Zamora, please have a seat. You must be weary. And I'll shut the door and lock it behind me.
You think there's a lock?
You think there's a door?
You shut the door and the lock is
I'll
just
draw the bead curtain closed.
It's just a very poorly constructed wooden latch. It just kind of shakes back and forth as you push it down into a rickety metal bracket that is kind of leaning off the boards itself. You can see where it's pulled, the nails have pulled out. It looks like someone has kicked this door in once before, and then somebody just kind of with their hand hit it back in and said it was good.
Forgive me. I can't let this abide. And I'm going to cast Mending on the door. We need as much security as we can in such a state.
Lanfear gives a quick chuckle as you see it mend back to a better state.
This should be able to survive a blow or two, possibly. Are there any chairs, or is it just the sacks of flour and
one chair suspiciously placed in the center of the room?
Not Minotaur. That's okay. It's not gonna be Minotaur. I'm gonna sit down crisscross on the floor.
Blaylock, I'll take care of it. I'll grab the chair, go sit in front of the door. I see that you're troubled, so let me help
Roll
you.
for initiative.
No,
everyone laughs. The chair laughs. It was a good time. What is all your passive perceptions?
21.
15. No, yeah, 15.
Okay. Okay. All right, you sit on the floor as Arlo pulls the chair over and sets it in front of the door, making sure no one comes in, and he sets down heavy and kind of looks on as Lanfear walks over to the window and just stares blankly out.
I purchased these rooms on a whim. We are staying elsewhere. However, it seemed pertinent at the time to purchase these in case we needed to fall back. Some privacy is in order. more so than where we can, than what is possible at our current accommodations. I'm gonna hold out a bead of refreshment and nourishment. Do you require this before the food arrives? You seem very weary.
And she just doesn't really answer. She turns her head a bit to acknowledge that you offered it, but just makes a light shaking motion with her head and stares back outside.
What has happened since you left or you disappeared from Dumai as well?
Oh, Blaylock. So much happened. Where should I start?
The attack would be a good point to start. That is where, at least my life changed dramatically after that.
It was several years ago, as you know, and I'm afraid my past came to haunt me.
I have read.
And someone found out I was living in the town. Broman, he sent his people. They brought a small device. It ripped open the fabric of time and space. I can only imagine it came from the Nine Hells itself.
Not far off. We have visited there to stop some of what he has done thus far. Now, you say we and us. Where is Father?
Oh, Blaylock. You should... Do you really want to know? Do you want to know everything?
It is more important than ever that I know. Where is he?
The demon came through. It began slaughtering the elders in town. I couldn't hide what I was. I used my magic to destroy the creature. The town rose up against us. You know how they felt about magic.
I do.
They blamed me and Rark. And they didn't remember you existed or something. They made us leave. Outside in the forest, it was all part of it. They knew that would happen. The children of Arsith, they'd escaped Drakenwald on a ship. They captured me and Rark. He threw us into the belly of the ship. I don't know what happened to him. The last I heard, he cursed my name for bringing all this upon him as they dragged him away somewhere else. You can see a tear run down her face.
He was never very receptive of the arcane and our abilities. Strength is what he thought was the way of the Minotaur.
He never accepted you. Never accepted you for what you were.
Well, I hope he is well.
Blaylock, he wasn't your father.
What?
She walks over, sits down on the floor in front of you.
Zormir's gonna inch a little bit closer.
Okay. Are you sitting on the floor as well?
Yeah.
You see Zoramir, he just kind of uses his hands to scoot a bit closer.
I'm staring very intently at her.
What do you mean he was not my father?
A long time ago, I had a family. Kids. A husband. That husband was not Ruark. There was a fire. They were all slaughtered. I cursed the god. The only unfortunate thing was the gods heard me. They took offense. And for my sentence, my curse was to never die, to never see my family again. I would not age. I would walk this earth. I would see those that I love grow up and die. But with that curse, my body awakened to some strange magic. I met a young mage. Told me he'd remove the curse and to damn the gods. He knew something was different about me. But he... Oh, Blaylock. It's not my fault. Broman tricked me. He was seeking to live forever.
I don't understand. Tell me plainly, because I do not wish to assume on something so incomprehensible.
Blaylock. He did experiments. You were made from me. A perfect match. In a way for him to find a way to live forever.
An experiment. I am an experiment.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I hid this from you for so long. I first you were just an animal in a lab.
I was your son.
I know that now. I loved you as a son. I took you. I ran. That's why he hunts me. When I found Rark, I told him the story. He didn't believe me. But he had a big heart. But as he grew, as you grew, he noticed you were different. The magic coursing through you didn't allow you to grow like the other children. She reaches out and kind of holds your face in her hands.
Go back away. I am a freak.
You are not a freak. You are my son. You came from me.
Yes, and what else? Don't answer that. Because I don't have the capacity to take on any more than that right now.
She puts her head down and cries into her shoulder. There's more.
Oh, go ahead.
What was that?
So do you mean to say you don't have loyalty to Broman anymore?
It's so much more than that. Broman needs Blaylock.
Why?
The reason he angers is you're the key to even more of his unnatural long life.
I age. If he wishes to seek immortality, seek the gods and their pettiness.
You have to be careful. Don't speak against the gods.
I have done my fair share.
And what has it brought you? She stands up and walks over into the corner.
Is she out of earshot? Or is it?
It's not a very big room, so...
That's not a very big room. Yeah.
Right.
The gods have brought nothing but pain and misery to all I behold, and it becomes more and more evident every hour of every day that passes by. I have seen friends that I care about be cast aside by these petty deities seeking to be gods, and these petty gods who care nothing for those that devote themselves to them.
Be careful with your words, son.
Is a distraction from the fact that Roman Karth is looking for not you only, but us. And the fool that I am have given him the means to know exactly where I am at all times, and I'll use one of my magical implements and just let a glowing pellet, and I'll use magical tinkering to light it up, and I'll hold it up to one of my horns to let the rune show.
Seeing the light illuminate the room, she turns to see, and you see her face sink down.
I scribe this here as a memorial to you, like a fool, not knowing what it was. And now he can communicate with me.
You have to understand what happened to us after the ship.
Fine.
I had no choice. I made deals to give you a good life. Do you remember when I would leave and be gone for a few weeks and bring you toys back?
Father told me that you were returning to the academy.
Does one of those deals include that OVK tattoo you have on your hand there? Presumably showing your allegiance.
She holds her hand up and covers it with her other hand.
Oh, my.
I didn't have a choice. Roman is not one you negotiate with.
How did you get here? And how did you know where we were?
That signal. That rune. That was on the pendant that was left at the house after it was burned. That was at Shadar Logoth. What was scribed? What was scribed there? The land of marvel and power, known to the elect only as the Black Tower. That was for the children.
It was made by an old friend. I didn't realize it did what it did. He gave me the toys that you use. The ones you use to fix your legs when you were young. He cared so much. He always asked about your progress. Craft never meant any harm.
Craft? He never mentioned knowing you or me.
He kept a lot to himself. But I'm sure he's gone now.
No, he is not. He works for my father.
Blaylock, don't say that. Roman is not your father.
What else would he be?
Not a friend.
No, not at all. He works for him.
We all worked for him.
I know. You are in the history books from ages far gone. I read of you in Uthmelanon. I've read of what you have done with him, and that you fled fleed his grasp. He seeks you still.
On more than one occasion. I've tried to get away. If I could find a way to end this curse into my life.
What god did this to you?
Hoar. Hoar. And not a word.
Okay.
The others, after I left you behind, the others tried to help. I was actually rescued.
What others?
We landed on Drakenwald all those years ago, or I did. There were these practitioners of blood magics. They had heard of me, evidently written in books. And they freed me from the children of Arseth. Took me to their place. Reinwald took me in, cared for me. But their power, while their intentions were good, they were dealing with evil magic, and I'm done with evil magic.
All I have read about of them was their location in the north. Outcast, they said. I thought nothing of it. After I read about them, they befriended you?
For a while. But they were using me as well. They were giving children these gifts. I couldn't stand for that.
Gifts? Do we speak of the blood magic?
Yes, it was blood magic.
I hear of a castle around those parts.
I stayed there for a while. But now you all must go. I see you found friends, and that's the most I could ever want for you, is to have friends, to live a happy life. Take a ship. Leave Drakenwald forever. There's a big world out there. Go get lost in it.
That proverbial ship has sailed. I am invested more than you know. Right now, we plan to unite the island against...
About that time, you hear, doom, 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 doom. We got some food for you, just as you ordered, Master, whoever you are.
I'll get up and move the chair and open the door. Just place it right there, please.
He takes a tray, and you see 4 bowls of greenish split pea soup looking mixture. He sets it down on the floor. Is there anything else I can get for you?
We are good, sir. Thank you for your hospitality.
Good luck, and whatever you're doing.
I just kind of shut the door behind him and put the chair back and sit back down.
Eat, mother.
She takes the bowl and tips it up. You see her kind of wince to the flavor. That's different.
Terrible is more the word that we have stated, but it does the job of keeping us vertical and ventilating.
Blaylock,
Hello?
do you not think it's coincidence with everything that's happening to you in the last day, your dreams, and then your mom just shows up?
After this conversation, it is very difficult for me to believe in coincidence. We have friends close to us who have family captured by Roman Karth. This web that is being spun is connecting all of us. Your suspicion is noted.
Don't have an easy feeling about this. I'm sorry, my friend.
I can imagine seeing someone disclose that they are immortal and have been the servant of a maniacal being seeking immortality in whatever way he can. I can see that it's fairly fantastical.
You have to realize I was young. I didn't know.
I understand. I have made foolish decisions. One in particular, just recently.
Or are you still in communication with him?
He is not communicating with me or has not made his presence known.
That was directed at what's her name?
Lancer.
Lancer.
I escaped from him weeks ago. I've been hiding from town to town. I'd heard stories from Portstown to Ciderport of a group of adventurers solving the world's problems. Sometimes leaving a mess in their wake.
Swimmer kind of nods like, yeah, I guess we did.
Those adventurers are attempting to unite the island against a foe of immeasurable power, who, if you say he is not my father, then so be it. He was the facilitator of my creation.
Can I roll an insight check on her? See if she. I just got a bad gut feeling about what she's saying.
Yep, go for it.
I'll throw a flash of genius on that.
24. Is it 4 plus 4, isn't it?
4 plus 4. What, for Flash of Genius?
That's 5 plus 5.
It's plus 5. Okay, so it'd be 25.
Yep.
Okay. There's no signs that she's lying at all with her body language and emotions.
So if you claim to no longer be in allegiance with him, you say you've escaped from him, surely you could help us help give us information to where he is, where his base is, what he calls home.
I can. The lake. The lake to the north. And she turns toward Blaylock. And she just super focuses in, Blaylock, right to you, and locks eyes with you. The Black Tower. It's there. He has it hidden to look like the ruins. There are no ruins there. He's rebuilt the tower. He obscures it through magic.
In my dreams, he has brought me there.
He wants you to come there. He wants you to face him. He always threatened to kill me if anything happened to you. That's why I couldn't tell you when we've spoke. He was always close by. Always listening. Always telling me just enough to say.
Oh. I am not going to stop. If I stop, then the island will fall. If I continue, he may win. He may have what he is looking for. The alternative is unacceptable.
She finishes off her bowl of soup and lightly sets it down on a small table in the corner. Steps over to you and lightly sets a hand on top of your head. I'm sorry. I should have never kept all this from you. You were so young.
You were... What child or young man could take this news? I understand. I don't fully comprehend. However, I cannot change it. If I am an abomination,
you're not an abomination. You are my son.
Thank you. I needed to hear that.
I will always love you. Forever.
Blaylock, you've done things for this group that are beyond our imagination. You are not an abomination. That I can agree with her.
Thank you, Arlo. It is most kind.
So since you've spent months captive and now you're here, what are your plans going forward?
You must leave, all of you.
Where are you going to go?
Far away. Past the Sword Coast, into unknown.
There's still plenty of fight left to do. We got a lot ahead of us.
We have just met. Why would you leave now in our hour of need? If the books are true, then you are one of the most powerful beings on this island.
You don't understand.
There's much I don't understand. That does not change the malady that affects this island.
Maybe another time.
For the next island, beset by a maniacal wizard seeking immortality.
She just looks down and bends down, kissing you on top of the head, and walks back over to the window, stares out into the horizon. So many sunsets I've seen all these years, but none as beautiful as this one when you are so close to me.
It is good to have you back, Mother. You must need rest. I can provide better accommodations than this. Would you walk with us?
She resets her hood, kind of brings it together. We must stay in the shadows.
I recommend you taking on another name for the time being. I'm sure you are adept at such discretion.
And she nods. And she walks over to you, leans down toward your ear, and just whispers, I am so sorry. And just stands back up.
I love you, Mother. And I know you mean no ill will.
You see tears run down her face.
And I'll give her the first hug that I've given her since the last time that I've seen her.
Zormir and Arlo, you see Blaylock stand up, and he embraces his mother. And you see him squeezing her with a strength uncommon for Blaylock. And she just collapses into his arms.
He's going to go over to Arlo, flooding in memories of his brother, and just grab Arlo around the waist.
Arlo, as you sit there, Z comes over and wraps his arm around your waist and just gives you a big hug.
As he's doing that, I'm just like, don't know what to really do with my hands, so I'm just kind of, are you Z? Are you okay, buddy?
Blaylock's found his mother.
Well, yeah. I mean, we all miss our family. Don't worry, I got your back.
Landfear, she kind of grabs you by the arms, Blaylock, and pushes you back just a bit and looks at you. You're not a boy anymore.
No, I am not the boy that you knew but I am the boy that you raised. Now, let's get you some rest. Well needed rest. Come, it's not far from here. The accommodations are better.
All right. As you go to leave the room, Grayson and Galtier, what are you doing?
We're heading to the docks again.
Okay.
He wanted to look at the boats.
All right. So
I'm going to go look for that gnome that you said was giving directions to people to talk to him.
okay. So both of you proceed to the Verminion docks. It's at this point into the early afternoon, probably like 2-3 o'clock. You both arrive there at the docks, and you see the gnome is still there, and he's yelling back and forth at the workers unloading the ships. What do you want to do?
I'm going to walk up to the dwarf and ask him if he has a moment for a question, or if there'd be a better time to talk to him about something.
And he turns, and you see him grab his thick glasses, and he adjusts them. So, what can I help you with today? I'm awful busy.
Do you see everybody that comes and goes through here?
Don't set that box over here! I told you to set it over there! Sorry, what was that?
No problem. Do you see everybody that comes through this dock?
I do see quite a few, yes. Been working these docks for several years.
If I describe somebody to you, would you recognize them if you've seen them recently?
Oh, I always look and see what every person looks like individually. But sure.
No need for the smart remarks, you little shit.
If you had to deal with what I had to deal with, you would understand.
Oh, believe me, I've probably dealt with dumber people.
It's not the dumb people, it's... Captain of the ship has an issue, but...
What does the captain of the ship have an issue with?
Oh, something in his own past, I think. But either way, how can I help?
I will describe Mei Lu, ask if he's seen her.
So, someone about your height, dark hair, cloak. Is that about nail it down?
She's been around these areas a lot more recently.
She might be more of a newer face for you.
Can't say I've seen her around.
Could you point out the captain of this ship that you were just telling us about?
Oh, he'll be up there. Goes by Heston. Heston von Maitland III.
I'm going to give him a gold and say thank you for the information.
Wouldn't imagine you'll make it up there very far. His first mate is some Harringen up there. Seems to keep a tight ship.
We'll see what we can do. Grayson, you think talking to this guy might help us in any way?
I don't know. How long has the ship been in dock?
Couple days now. I think it's due out tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening, one of those.
Do you know where it's going?
I believe it's heading back to Waterdeep for a shipment.
she's trying to get an audience with the king, I doubt she'd be getting on a ship leaving port.
No, I agree with that. Are any of these materials that are being unloaded going to the castle?
No, most of these are for people in the shop district, supplies. Ale from the taverns, wine imported in, at least this shipment.
Have you got any shipments recently that go to the castle then?
All castle shipments are kept over there, and he points over, and you see a variety of stacked up crates that have some of the King's Guard around them. Anything that goes to the castle is fully inspected, opened, checked, searched before being transported into the castle itself. They're very high security here lately.
Do you know who does all the searching of those boxes?
He reaches out and, like, with one finger, puts it on your cheek and pushes your face toward the royal guards that are standing around the crates.
How is he reaching my face?
They're not that small. He's... And then you see him, like, turn his palm up. Huh?
It's only them. It's never anybody else.
They swap out. Somebody from the castle comes down, checks the boxes, and then the guards load them up on a cart and stay with the cart all the way in until they're in the castle.
I wonder if that's how she's trying to get in, Grayson.
Still doesn't explain the contacts.
Now, unless it's either an old guard, current guard.
Who would she have met recently? That's the problem.
I think what might worry me more is who would have approached her recently about it. Almost like someone's trying to set her up.
Well, it's not like Arlo hasn't brought unwanted attention to us.
Yeah. And there's they more than likely know about her and what she's trying to do. Anything else you want to ask our friend here before we go talk
Yes,
to these
please.
guards?
Please, what can I answer for you? And I have nothing else going on, right?
Oh, no. You look like you are have some downtime right now. Busy man.
He just
I would
kind
think
of...
you'd like the conversation.
What I'd like is an ice cold ale and someone sitting on my lap, if you know what I'm saying.
Sorry, I'm not available. And
I can help with the ale tonight, but
he just shakes his head and pulls up a clipboard and looks up at you and then back and marks something else off on the clipboard.
Do I notice anything on a clipboard that I'm able to read?
Just looks like some kind of shipping manifest.
Okay, I'll walk after Grayson.
He was unpleasant.
We've dealt with Rooter, and a lot less cooperative on information.
I have a bad feeling your sister's going to get herself in some deep trouble.
You and me both.
Unfortunately, she's too stubborn to accept help when help is offered.
That sometimes runs in the family. I don't know what she's been up to, though, for the last couple of years. What could have made it worse? And we're walking over to the guards, right?
If you want to, yeah, it's fine.
Okay. I wouldn't mind. I doubt there'll be much help, but I'll walk over to them.
Okay. As soon as you get within 10 feet or so of the crates and the guards, you see them ready their halberds. Halt! Order of the king. These are all station to be sent to the castle. No civilians.
We don't want your boxes.
Now, that's what the last guy said.
Well,
We found him with curious fingers. What do you need then?
I'm just gonna look at him after that response and turn to Grace and say, I don't think we're gonna get anything. Don't know if they really would talk to us at all.
I guess
This man with the squiggly finger. Could you describe him, though?
It was probably your height, human. Looks like he hadn't eaten in a few days. Tried to break in and steal supplies.
Were they wearing a cloak?
They were attempting to. It looked more like a horse blanket.
Instead of offering him food, you did what?
Our jobs.
Yeah, that's right. Glad you don't have family that needs needs.
In service of the king, one is not lauded the opportunity of having a family.
Huh. Don't know what you're missing. Maybe you do need a lay.
You see just a smirk kind of cross his face before one of the other guards kind of elbows him to straighten up.
Gonna start walking away.
All right. Where are y'all headed?
So it's still probably only like 3 o'clock or something.
It's getting into evening, yeah.
I don't have anything else personal.
Do you think that could have been Mei Lu who's trying to break in there? Disguised herself a bit?
Disguised herself as a man and get herself arrested?
Oh, I didn't know they
she
got
was
arrested.
That stupid.
Sorry.
She did seem smarter than that.
Yeah, she wouldn't get herself arrested unless she had a way to get out if she went to the other side. But it's... Do we want to try meeting up with the others?
I guess. Or are you going to know that it's just bad news? More bad news on top of bad news.
Don't know what Blaylock might have found at the temple.
If they even went to the temple. We literally made one stop at a shop and saw them in the complete opposite side of town.
Yeah. I know Arlo also is supposed to see the investigator. Or did he do that yesterday? I don't remember. Should we head back to the old boot where we saw him last?
I'm not going into that place.
Well, we can head back to the den then. See if they went back there for some reason.
All right. Zormir, Arlo, and Blaylock, what are you all doing?
We're going to start making our way out of the room.
Okay. And where are you headed?
I'm going to head over to Tendra's den.
Okay. Due to the timing, as you start heading to the north, you do run into Grayson and Galtier leaving the dock area.
Hey, guys.
Odd to see you around here.
It may be pertinent that we go to the den immediately.
Grayson and Galtier, you see that they have an additional traveler with them, a hooded, taller figure with a minotaur-like nose sticking out from beneath a dark cloak.
Zamora here has a bit of information for us to discuss in private.
Zamora.
Let's make haste. It is not good
Is that name?
to...
Do I recognize that name? Because I read the same books that Blaylock did.
No, because he's just making it up.
Okay. Okay. No, I just
Yeah, it's just a fake moniker. So
Yep.
all right. So you all move back to Tinder's Den.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You arrive inside the den. Tinder is there. Oh, quite another guest.
I don't know what you're referring to. They're just... And then I'll slip her 5 gold.
Oh, sorry. You've come in with so many lately. I figured it was another guest. Hello and welcome to Tinder's Den. We can supply food, sleep, and any kind of company you need in the evening.
Actually, just the private dining room would be acceptable.
Oh, is this one with you?
She is a guest of ours.
Oh, okay. Another guest. Such good business, Grayson. You really should visit with your friends more often.
As long as it stays quiet.
She points over to the room that you were in the day before. It's open if you need it.
Then I'll make my way in there.
Okay. Everyone else going in as well?
Yep. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. You step into the room. Each find a seat.
I'm gonna shut the door and lock it if there's a lock.
Yes, this is a much better door.
Good. Now, this formal introductions are in order. This is
Someone who needs no introduction by the clothing he wears. He must be a Harker.
And you know this how?
I knew your father and your grandfather. His grandfather. I don't think you need to really keep going.
I just turned to Blaylock. Is this who I think it is?
And beside him is Galtier.
I'm sorry, I asked you a question. If
Grayson.
this is who I think it is, where the fuck is my family? Are they alive?
We will set the introductions for another time. Grayson, meet Lanfear. my mother.
Oh, I'm quite aware of who she is now.
Your
Mother,
family.
Grayson.
They were tortured, experimented on. There were nights I couldn't sleep because their screams in the lower parts of the tower echoed into my chambers.
And yet you're here.
I escaped with my life, and barely. Roman said the only way to corrupt the sword that all of you were collecting for him was through the blood of the Harker line.
So they are dead.
Not yet. Not last I heard.
Where is he keeping them?
The tower. But you can't get there. The waters are dangerous. The magic there, the only thing that would pierce the veil would be the sword itself, and I hope with all my being you have failed. We hid those pieces. We spread them. All those years ago.
I'm just glaring. I'm steaming.
It's not my fault. If I could have stopped it, I would have.
You helped him.
If I didn't
I've
help
read
him, they would have
the
killed
history
my
books.
son.
One life for all the pain that he has caused.
I admit, I haven't made the best decisions. You've been alive for so long. You throw caution to the wind. You have to realize, for the longest time, I thought he was dead. The assault on the tower. The dragon falling to its death.
But we know it didn't quite die either. So apparently a lot of things didn't die that day.
What do you mean the dragon was dead?
She talking about Qualadon or Varsith?
She hasn't said.
Do you speak of Varsith, Mother?
Varsith was slain. His body rests in what's now a desert after he destroyed it. He turned for so little. Broman had a silver tongue then. But Harker, I saw your own family slay Qualadon at the tower itself. So I don't know what you speak of things coming back, besides Broman.
Well, if you've met Zoromir, notice anything?
She turns and looks at Zoromir. And it looks like he has an ailment. He looks sick.
Show her, Zoromir.
Roll up my sleeves and pull my hood down.
You roll them up, and you can see the scales completely covering the hands, claws protruding from his nails. Some of the hair has begun falling out as the scales protrude up his neck. What is this?
It used to be black.
Blaylock. Have you heard that name?
Blaylock was Broman's personal friend, creature, mount,
Until
dragon.
fairly recently, you may have been able to say just about the same for me. Quailodon lived in my veins, in my blood, till we were finally able to evict him from my soul.
And she gets close to you, walks around the table, and just studies the scales. It's not possible. Who would have taken... What magic is this? Who would have done this?
Powerful magic. Beats me. It was just came in the form of a tooth. I was just playing with the tooth as we rode along, and next thing I know, it's burrowing into me, and I have scales growing over my skin.
She begins prodding at you and just kind of turning your hands over. I've never seen anything like it. And you say they were black.
They were.
But now they're white.
Due to the great courage of my friend here, Arlo, he sacrificed a connection with his companion, Hrathir, in order to preserve my life. And now Hrathir is inside of me.
The great dragon from the north is inside you.
I
Coming
glance
from
down.
somebody who's been alive for a very long time. Maybe don't be so doubtful about stories.
The dragons are much like the gods. Without some purpose, they want nothing to do with the rest of us. Whether that be a curse, a deal, gold. Some are driven by greed. But rarely are those just driven to help the mortals.
No, from what we understand, Quilladon wanted to take a new host, get his revenge on Broman.
But to bring him back in that capacity, you're speaking of dark magic. Someone would have had to have taken a piece of him. Rituals, blood magic even.
Quilladon wasn't so chatty.
You all have been through so much.
We have been very busy since our arrival on this island, and the acquaintances that I have gathered from not all of us have been together as long as Zoromir and I, but the tales of our adventurers, as you have heard, they go far and deep. We have the capacity to stop him.
What do you mean? You didn't finish the sword, did you?
No.
Oh, good. Glad you abandoned that.
The island is unifying against him. And we can rid ourselves of Broman Karth for good.
This time, make sure he's dead.
Indeed.
I hope you're right.
We don't have a choice. If we get on a ship and leave the island, all that will happen is the power that is amassed here will follow us. Follow us wherever we go. You've said it yourself. He seeks what we are striving for. He seeks me. How can I flee?
And she looks down at all of you, turns to Arlo. What do you seek? Why do you stay?
I seek a mute button.
Sorry. Because my friends need me. And I'm here with them to see what their journey is.
And you, the scaled one, why do you stay?
Well, for the longest time, it was to find my brother, much like Blaylock here sought out you. But he's unfortunately passed, and well, the journey to get there created some tight bonds with my companions here, and who would I be to abandon them?
She turns to Galtier. You must certainly want to flee.
One would think that, but I don't. I found my sister, and these guys helped me save her. So I'm sticking with them to help them with what their journey is to save their families. Fleeced for Grayson. And now that Blaylock's found you, well, things can go either way from there.
And Harker,
We all have our reasons.
I know this Harker searches for his family. I will say, I did no evil to them.
I just glare.
And these reasons, these pursuits unify us as we unify the island against whatever forces he brings to bear. We will fight until there is no breath left in us, because there is no choice.
All,
Go ahead.
all the more the reason why you should stay. As you said it yourself, there's no running. Where are you going to run that they can't find you?
There's places.
There's 2 of your order still in town. How well do you know each other in the Order?
There's a few of us. Some are bound to a purpose. Others are higher henchmen. Who are they?
Arlo.
So would you know Dura and Temperance?
Miagua's brother and sister, I would imagine.
Yes. I've had my run-ins with them. Zoramir and I.
I would imagine so. They aren't pleasant.
But what they seek, I don't have. And obviously, they're too dumb to realize it.
Oh, they are smarter than you can possibly imagine.
Well, I don't have what they want. I haven't had it for months.
Problem is, they've given us a deadline.
3 weeks. If
I
don't have it, they've threatened to kill us. Or kill someone.
Hurt you or those close to you.
Those close to me.
Oh, they will.
Anything you can tell us that would give us an advantage over them?
Watch your back. They have a way of always knowing where someone is.
Anything that you can do for us?
I cannot. Unfortunately, this mark you see is more than just a mark that identifies us. Broman hasn't lived this long to not be crafty. She holds up her hand, and you see the mark on her hand. With this, we cannot harm anyone else who has one.
Well, I can take care of that for you.
Mm-hmm.
What powerful magics do you have?
I'll just cut your hand off. Cut the mark off. Whatever it takes.
You would... Blaylock, you would let him dismember me?
I never said I would allow that.
It's a figure of
Sometimes
speech.
you have to let Arlo think on his statements. He has a tendency to speak and think later. Right, Arlo? We would not want to mutilate family members of your compatriots.
You're right. I apologize. Sometimes my anger gets the best of me. Those two are just, I don't know. Every time I think about them, I just get the urge to want to kill them for what they did to Zoramir.
A fair response. One that's been had by many that's come up against them.
So how do they track us?
I do not know.
Well, it doesn't help that they have items that belong to us.
They must...
There are such magics.
What is it? What is it that they want from you?
They want a pendant that Miagua had. I've lost it months ago, and I haven't had it. And they think I have it, and I don't know. I do not know where it is at. I have not had it for a long time.
They seek to reforge the shards of Amante. This does not bode well.
Amarte?
Yeah, what is that?
A part They're but simple trinkets. Together, they can tear open the fabric of this world, travel to other planes of existence.
So it opens portals.
To wherever your mind can fathom. Travel from here to Waterdeep in an instance. From here to Neverwinter. From here to the Fae.
Why would your master want to deliver that to his brother and sister?
I don't know, Grayson. I've never heard a mean word out of him. He's never done anything wrong. I do not know.
Is he part of your order?
No, he's not.
I'm not talking to you.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know if he accepted. Years ago, I heard they disagreed on something. They were all entrusted with a piece as children. And he left.
So there are 3 pieces then.
There are.
Yeah, because I remember there's some strange writing on the back of that. I couldn't read it, but honestly, I haven't seen it in months.
The dangerous proposition.
Well, as much gloom and doom as we've had in this last few days, it's par for the course.
Well, more fantastical items, broken, separated, guarded, lost. This appears to be a trend.
This island is special. It's not like other places.
It seems to be a focal point of many forces.
They say that Drakenwald was the first dragon who fell. And that the people here live on his remains. And that energy seeps through into the land. But that is before my time.
You had mentioned Kraft. You had mentioned him visiting the 2 rivers.
He used to help. Some of the things we had in the village were designed by him. You, the first time he came to the village, you were just so enamored with him. You probably don't remember. You were so young. You would reach up and poke and prod and into his metal body. Back then, you really didn't speak. You didn't speak for so long.
I do not remember. He did not mention you to me.
He probably would not.
Very, very selfish creature, that is.
He's more mercenary now than what he was then.
Indeed, he is. The one funding him is here. And one of the reasons why we are here. Would you happen to know who that might be?
I do not.
He is a rook that needs to be removed from this playset.
I agree. I have traveled for many days to get here.
Why don't you rest? What time is it anyway, DM?
It's getting into evening.
Not
like night. Typically the time you guys go eat and drink.
Yeah. If you wish for rest, you will have safety here. It seems it has been a while since you have been able to rest without fear. Have no fear while you are here with us.
And she...
That's not a promise we can keep. And I get up and I walk out.
She nods and looks at all of you. If any of you want me to leave, I will leave.
I'll look at everybody else.
No argument here.
Is your mom Blaylock? There is a risk, but I value your judgment.
I am biased, and of course, I would like you to stay. I would encourage you to stay with us, and we can keep you safe.
I appreciate that.
Would you care to eat, or would you like to go and rest for the evening?
I should rest. I feel that all of you need to speak together. I believe your friend is upset with me.
It is not the first time, but understandably, we were very concerned about where your allegiance lied. If you were to see Roman Karth again, would you be able to stand against him?
I cannot harm him. I'll do everything in my power to help all of you.
There is more than you can do than direct opposition. There are armies forming. There is information that would be beneficial for all. If you would stand against him, then our chances of surviving are that much greater.
I promise. I'll do everything I can.
Rest, Mother. You deserve rest after all you have been through.
She nods at you.
Let me show you to my room.
Okay. So you get up and take her around into your room. Arlo, Galtier, and Zoramir, what are you doing?
It's late in the night.
It's getting into early evening, maybe 6, 7 o'clock.
Gonna go down and get meal and drink.
I was going to turn everybody and ask if they wanted to grab an ale.
Definitely need one.
Okay. Grayson, where were you headed? Just out of the room, specific where that was?
I'm going to pay for a bath.
Okay. You go and take a bath. The rest of you go out into the main area of Tindra's Den. And you don't see Grayson.
He's going to need time to cool off.
Blaylock, after you take your mother to your room and she sits down on the side of the bed.
Forgive the mess. I have been working here for quite a while. Here, please put your things down here and rest.
She lies down on the bed and turns her back toward you. You see her
I'll
moving.
put my hand on her shoulder.
You feel her shaking as she sheds a tear. I'm so sorry for all of this. All of this is my fault.
You put too much on yourself. This is Broman Karth's fault. However, the time for fleeing is at an end. It is time to stand and end this now. Rest.
All right. So you leave the room. The rest of you, are you waiting for Blaylock or are you just proceeding?
Proceeding.
Okay. Is that all of you?
I'll wait for Blaylock.
Okay.
Volunteer. Have they gone to the common room?
They have taken off to Wolf's Head for ale and food. Would you like to go join them? Grayson, I don't know where he went off to, but I'm sure after everything that's just happened, he needs some time to onto himself.
Yes. Let us meet.
Okay. So you all are heading out. One second.
He's prepping for the ASMR Grayson's bath.
You arrive at the Wolf's Head Tavern. The usual crowd is here. What do you want to do? Just order food?
Grab a table and order some food and a round of ales.
All right, so you grab a table, you get some ale, they bring it out. Callister brings you some food. Place isn't as busy tonight as it usually is.
Are you all there?
Yep, everyone but Grayson.
4 of us are, yeah.
Yeah. This was quite an evening.
Bet you never would have thought you would have found your mom today when you walked out this morning.
It is difficult to contain the feelings that I am feeling right now.
I know those feelings must be strong, but it might be clouding your head. But do you believe everything she's told you? Do you believe this isn't one of Broman's tricks?
That is not outside the possibility, I suppose. But I believe the genuineness of her actions.
Just find it. I'm still beside myself on how you have a dream 1 minute, then she's at your door the next. It's kind of hard to wrap my mind around it.
The timing is spectacular.
The dream came about from my own foolishness.
What did you find out about that horn and getting it removed?
Well, it seems like ages ago. The horn cannot be removed unless someone is sent to the mainland to bring a priest of a higher order here. And only then could the rune be removed that I so foolishly scribed.
You were just doing what you thought was best.
I should have known better.
Any idea how much a procedure like that might cost us?
What was that? 5,000 gold, I believe? Is that what you said, DM? Yeah. Around 5,000 gold.
Magical voice from either.
Well, it's almost worth it just to keep him from talking to you and knowing where you're at all the time.
The fight might almost be futile if he knows where we are and when we're coming.
I'm not sure if he can read my thoughts or listen in on what we're doing. I know that in my dreams, he can speak to me.
Well,
I care not to test that.
Real quick, did you show that to your mom at the old boot or at the tavern?
The old boot. Yeah, okay. The old boot.
Did your mom see that? Wonder if she would know anything more about it.
She did see it, but with everything that was being disclosed, she consoled me on my foolish effort to remember her.
It might be worth to ask her if this is such a spell that he can listen to you whenever he wants, because if it is, just like Arlo and Zormir said, everything you guys have talked about today, he's privy to.
If that is the case, then you may need to leave me out of the discussions until we can safely remove the horn. for the rune.
Unless your mother knows a way to block that magic.
True. The issue is I will not know what is working or not working
until it's too late.
He will not broadcast that he cannot speak to me any further. He will just find another way to do what he needs to do.
It's been one of those days today. And we still have to deal with Dura and Tempest.
Yes,
those
we
two
do.
Always around.
It's been more than just a day. It's been since we've gotten here. Just one thing after another.
Understand why Grayson was so hesitant to come to the city. Seems like trouble comes out of the woodworks.
I was always wondering why he always dreaded wanting to come here. And now I have to say I agree with him.
What of your efforts to find Melu?
Finding her, futile. Finding a note she left me, successful. She apparently has found a way into the castle and is going on her own. Who she's working with, no idea. How she's getting there, no idea. However, I have this gut feeling that it is not going to end well.
That is foolish.
Yeah, I would love to tell her that. We did go to the dock and talk to a gnome who was directing traffic. And we did find some boxes that are going to the castle. Whether or not that's how she's going to try to sneak in through a box, I'm not sure. It's pretty guarded with 2 royal guards standing there.
This traffic gnome how does he know? Did he see her? What leads us to believe that she would use these boxes?
Nothing. It was just simply I was looking out from our hideout at what you would see from the hideout, and the dock is one of them. He was just telling people where to put boxes, unloading things, and something about a ship there was having issues with the captain. It's called Little Trouble. And I thought maybe she was going to use that at first, but that's leaving town tomorrow morning or night. He couldn't remember. I'm half worried that she's working with the other group from the other advisor, opposing the one that we're working with.
Well, that is a problem. It is a large problem for Melu. She may be in over her head.
I would agree with that. I wish she would have just trusted me a little more than to try to go off and do something on her own. I'm hoping she doesn't do anything too reckless and ends up getting executed for it.
This is true.
She's definitely a wild child. She's always on the move.
Breaking into the castle would be extraordinarily foolish for anyone.
Pretty sure I could pull it off, but agreed.
I don't know if that's something you'd want to risk right now, Zormir.
No, I've already promised you I'm not gonna try and pull any hijinks here.
Should we keep watch of said boxes to determine if she takes action?
We could try. I'm not sure if it'd be worth the dividing of everyone to go watch boxes for a while.
You like
Like
the
I
boxes
said-
down at the dock? Is that what you're talking about?
Yep,
Yes.
their boxes were at the dock, and like I said, there's nothing in the note that would have said she was going to use that.
So we just have speculation. We should not act on
Exactly.
speculation. Sormir, how do you feel? Have you been able to recuperate from your endeavor?
Feeling better. More and more uneasy about this place as the days go on.
I'm sure Gautier can testify to this, that this city continues to grow darker and darker the more you stay here. The more knowledge of this place, the worse my opinion of this city.
Well, we need to do whatever we got to do with Grayson and get to see the king. This is every day here without seeing the king is just compounding our problems.
Is he not ready for an audience?
The issue isn't whether or not the king is not ready. It's whether or not we are approved to have a meeting with them based on the children that we are working with.
Got them their book, no?
We got them one item that doesn't guarantee. She's never guaranteed us an audience from just that one item. Speaking of was it Millie?
Gilly.
Gilly. I was close. Do we see her around?
She's actually not here tonight.
Ironic.
Ironic.
Ironic, or something is up right now that she's not here.
Gosh, so suspicious of everything.
Everything.
I wonder
The
why.
The wolf's head is a mimic.
All of Castle Verminia is a mimic. It's a mimic city.
That's a thing.
Take my ale and I'm gonna drown it. Ask for another one. This has been one of those days. Cheers.
Cheers to what exactly? To trying to get drunk?
To the hopes of another day of, hopes to a day of maybe positive tomorrow.
To another positive day.
Yes. If you were looking for silver linings, nobody died today. Nobody got beat up.
Someone probably died today. It's Castle Romania.
Don't care about them. I care about us and our group. Nobody's had any bloodshed today. If that's the silver lining we got to run with.
True.
As Callister brings your ale. So, who's paying tonight?
Oh, what the hell? I will. What do I owe you?
Did you get food as well?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
What are we, a bunch of alcoholics? We don't eat too?
Yeah, we just drink our
That'll be
dinner.
a gold piece.
All right. Here's a gold and a couple silver. Bring some, just go get us another round before we get these done. If you don't mind.
I'm gonna need. How's everyone else drinking? Are they going all at it?
No, I just have like one.
Z is not.
Okay.
My mother would not think highly of me if I came home drunk the first day she returned to me.
All right, Arlo, I need you to roll a d20.
See who you spill a beer on?
Man, I'm only on my second. I'm not a lightweight. $11.
Oof.
11. That is a failure. Let's see. All right.
That's sad if you gotta wait that long to figure it out.
All right. You are getting tipsy, and you have advantage on charisma-based checks and saving throws.
So try to get lucky.
Try and pickpocket somebody.
All right. How long do y'all want to stay
Drinking
here?
alcohol, not Felix Felicius.
Yeah.
All right.
Feeling better there, Arlo?
I'm feeling really good. It is nice to be with friends. Hold my mug up. Cheers. Knock it back.
Cheers.
As I'm done drinking, I just slam the mug down on the ground, on the table. Ah, that's delicious. Better than that pea-looking soup they had in there, the last place.
Poor Hugo's. He's down on his luck in business. It's not in his favor being so close to the water.
He's always been down on his luck at that location.
Your mom must have been hard up to drink that soup.
It's probably been quite a while since she's had a good meal.
Well,
Yeah,
it was good to have some drinks. I think we should have another one. What say you?
I am going to pass.
Blaylock, you can see, Arlo, as you look around, you can see that everybody else has still two ales sitting on the table in front of them.
How deep is Arlo right now?
I'll slide mine over to Arlo.
Well, thanks, Zormir.
You're welcome, buddy.
Take a big slug of it. Screw them kids, them brothers and sisters.
All right, you are now buzzed. You have disadvantage on all dexterity-based checks and saving throws, advantage on all strength-based checks and saving throws, and you are poisoned.
Whoa.
Oh, poisoned. Nice.
Just means you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. Standard drinkingness.
Yeah.
Do you have double vision yet?
Well,
all right.
They always say if you see triple, you just aim for the middle. That way you don't get hurt. Just run heads, you know.
I think
Wow,
you
this
should,
stuff's good.
Slow down a little bit there, Arlo.
Why?
We're talking about fighting nothing in a town where drawing your sword can get you killed.
Well, it seems like every corner we turn, we're destined to die or be in a fight. Poor Blaylock here, he's overloaded in his mind with everything that's come about in the last few hours.
This is quite a bit to take in. Not something worthy of discussing here.
No.
About what time is it? Great and powerful DM.
Probably 9-10 o'clock. Been there a while.
Do you think we should check in on Grayson?
Where'd he
Grayson
go?
can wait till the morning.
Sleeping in Doff.
Guess he couldn't join us for a beer and ale.
I'm more concerned of keeping an eye on your mom, Blaylock.
And that is my concern. I would like to go back and go and rest and watch over her to make sure she is okay after such a journey.
I would agree with that. Arlo, Z, you guys almost done? Not gonna leave you guys alone since the last time that happened, you guys got knocked out and beat up.
Hope that doesn't happen again in a hurry.
I'm ready for anything.
I'm sure you are, Arlo.
I'm gonna get up and I will likely see you in the morning.
So does that mean you're leaving?
That means that I'm leaving.
So I'll stand up and kind of flex. Well, you need an escort. Protection. Kind of
Why,
walk,
thank you.
walk with him. Come, Z. Let's be his bodyguards.
I think you would be a much better bodyguard than I would, Arlo. As much as I like to think my height is not a hindrance.
I'll just throw you at them.
I do not like that plan.
Oh, but I do.
I'm gonna take a few steps away from him.
All right. All right, so you guys heading back to Tinder's Den?
Correct.
Yep.
All right. You step out into the night air. It's quiet. It's far enough in the evening that a lot of the people walking by and having anything to do is done past faded.
This is too much detail for a walk of a block.
I know, right?
As you start passing by from one of the alleyways, you hear a scream in the night. Ah!
Oh my!
We've been here before.
And you turn, and you see a man standing there, hair kind of wet and drooping, long beard, and a few people around him pointing, and they take off running past you, and your eyes shift down, and you see a blade protruding from his chest, and he grabs at the blade and begins pulling at it. With each pull of the blade, you see him cut his hands more, and the blood runs down his hands, dripping onto the ground, sliding, before the blade starts dipping down, and you see the body foot onto the ground in front of you. And from the dark shadows, a figure steps forward. You hear the dragging of a large sword in his hand against the stone. As his hulking shoulders step into the light of the town, remnants of a tattered beard that's been torn and ripped from the face, a flowing red tunic with a symbol emblazoned on it that looks quite familiar from one of your compatriots that's not with you. It's ripped, draping over its body. Heavy steel boots thud against the stone streets as it steps closer and closer to you. The sound echoes across the down the alleyway with each step as the commoners run off screaming for help. From further in the dark alleyway, you hear and you hear the sound of claws scraping on stones as two dark creatures appear from around the hulking figure. You see their fingers elongate from around the stone building and grasp onto the side, claws digging into the stone as they pull forward. You see long, gaping mouths filled with teeth, and they skitter forward on all four limbs, quickly off to the side. In one of their hands, you see the torn appendage of someone just holding it in his hand, each step squishing, drool dripping from its mouth onto the ground as a long tongue protrudes out of its mouth and licks all over its face, and then lies against the side, flapping at one side. They pause for a moment, staring at you in the darkness, lit only by the torchlight from the buildings nearby. You then see the large humanoid figure set its feet into the stone, and its jaw dislodges and stretches unnaturally as you hear and it charges forward, and that is where we're going to end tonight.
Every night.
And the campaign, because TPK.
Yeah,
Can you use that in a sentence?
It's Nemoria's ghost.
Oh, yeah.
It's from the dead.
She's pissed.
Nemoria is a vampire.
Oh, no, a vampire. It's got a big old beard, and, it's waterlogged. Eating corpse.
Eating werefish.
Yeah. Been eaten by a werefish.
Or werewolf, not vampire, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for coming out tonight. This was an intense episode. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. It is, Blanco, it is a cliffhanger. We're leaving it on a cliffhanger. When we come back, we'll see what they do. We need more evil channel points. We can't give evil channel point rewards because Cherry would try to kill everybody.
I want them to fight and then start spending points to have us fight.
Points or points?
No monsters, no monsters in sight, but and no Grayson, or monsters in sight with no Grayson. So thank you all for coming out. We appreciate, you can catch us again on Wednesday when we do our, the only, unofficial pregame show to Banter and Babble. So you'll find them at 9:00 on Wednesday. But then don't forget to tune in next week to see what happens here. This is exciting. It's exciting because we have a drunk Arlo going into this as well. So let's
Don't forget to have those disadvantages written down.
I got them.
Oh, we'll have to get that after. I got half of them. I'll have to get that post session.
All right, there we go. Let me I'm going to, as we close out, I'm going to pass you over to Zach Dynamite. And until next time, we will see you in the dungeon.
See you guys.
Take care, everybody.
Have a good night. Hey, Yosh, were you trying to get your toy?